Welcome, everyone, back to 1111. This is our second interview with a surprise guest. And today, I am absolutely thrilled to introduce Susan BOCK. Before we get into my questions for you, Susan, could you just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do in general?
Thank you for this incredible opportunity, Joy. I love your enthusiasm, your energy. Oh my gosh, it is infectious. So thank you. And you will know that this is a topic, my topic is aligned action. It's a topic that is so vital to me, to my life, to my business, to my relationships, to my success. And the reason it's so vital today is because for much of my earlier life, I was not in aligned action. I know what that feels like, and it doesn't feel good. So when I discovered this through mistakes, absolutely, when I discovered this way of being in aligned action, in alignment with our truest self, in fact, what I call our super self, I knew that that was a divine inspiration, and it was something that I absolutely, positively had to share with my audience.
I love it. Our guests won't know, but Susan, I warned you that we were switching the date that we featured you. Originally, you were supposed to be a week later, but I looked at this week's theme of goal setting and I thought, what better way to round out that week than with talking about alignment? The first question I want to ask is, how would you define or describe alignment, specifically as applies to life and business?
That's such a great question to start with, Joy, because aligned action is about making decisions and taking actions that are congruent with your values, your goals, and your purpose. It means that your actions are in harmony with the broader objectives that you have for your life, those non-negotiable principles and values and the vision you have for your life, for your business, even for yourself. So aligned action isn't just about being busy. Oh my gosh, can we fall into that trap very easily?
Right.
It's not just about being busy or making kind of random choices. Rather, it's about being very intentional in moving in the direction that aligns you with your core values and your desired outcomes.
Oh, I love that word intentional. That gives us hope that's going to come to fruition in the way we want. Specifically, why is getting aligned at the beginning of a new year important? And what are the consequences of being out of alignment, especially at the dawn of a new year?
Our society tends to look at the new year as a fresh beginning. It's an opportunity to maybe reflect and also set the intention, make some decisions about what you want to achieve in the year ahead. So right now is a wonderful time to take a look at what aligned action means to you and set your intention for what that aligned action is going to help you achieve throughout the year. It's very intentional. Yes, it does take intention and attention.
Right, right.
And then eventually it becomes very much a part of our natural way of being. Because when we are in aligned action, we truly are with our natural alignment, our flow, our energy, our style, our approach, that authenticity and genuineness of who we are. So that's why this time of year is such a wonderful opportunity to hit that pause button, just stop for a moment and set the intention, be very specific about what it is you want to achieve. What does it look like for you in the upcoming year? And what feels right? I'll come to feelings again in a little bit, but it needs to feel right intuitively, physically, energetically, emotionally. And when we have that connection, I call it your super self. It's when that bridge exists between your head and your heart. You're not just making decisions intellectually. You're making decisions with that incredibly powerful combination of heart and intellect. That is aligned action. That is being in your super self. Now, the consequences of being out of alignment, some words that might resonate with you, Joy, would be burnout or overwhelm or
Oh.
discontentment, a feeling of dis-ease or discomfort. Those are all indicators that you are out of alignment. And my invitation to the listeners today would be to think of a time when you were asked to do something and it just didn't feel right. Didn't feel right. And yet you may not have been able to describe why or what it was, but it just wasn't right. And if you went ahead and said yes and took that action, it didn't feel very good, did it? It leaves a kind of a bad taste in our mouth. Those are the consequences of being out of alignment because we are not honoring our truest super self, that authentic, incredibly marvelous human being that resides within each one of us.
And I would think that once we've gotten out of alignment, it will only compound the issues that you mentioned.
It does, Joy. And unfortunately, one of the incredible attributes that we have as human beings is we can compensate. We become accustomed to things not being the way we'd like.
Right.
And we start settling for less than what we want. And that compromise is so unfortunate. You're not living up to your highest super self.
Oh, that's such a good point. We adjust, we make do, we compensate. Ah, boy, can of worms there. What would you like to tell us about your business, especially as applies to alignment?
My business is devoted specifically to aligning your business with you. In fact, my brand is Your Business, Your Way. The impact of what each one of us can have on the world is incredibly unique to who we are. However big or small our world is, we do have an impact. And when we are in alignment with that super self and sharing our gifts and our values and our inspiration, our expertise, when we're sharing that, we're doing so from a point of strength, from honesty, from authenticity. I want women to design their business so that that's what's in the spotlight. It's not about the business. It's about the transformation that they're offering their ideal clients. And when they're in alignment with what their unique solution is, they become an attraction magnet for their ideal clients because that genuineness is so appealing to people. So that's my focus. It's creating your business in a way that works for you. There's no cookie cutter approach. No two people are the same. No two businesses are the same. So my magic, my gift, if you will, is uncovering what your uniqueness is so that you can design and align your business with that and be in flow, be in alignment with your energy and your natural strengths and talents.
You mentioned women. Is that who you primarily help?
It is. Entrepreneurs primarily, online businesses that have an expertise-based business. I work with everything from, I've had accountants and CPAs to artists and jewelry designers to healers and therapists. So my approach applies to a broad spectrum of business owners. And yet I found, again, following my aligned action, that when I was in my most authentic self, the people that came to me naturally, Joy, were women who were either in a business or looking to start a business, and they wanted it to not only give them the financial freedom that they were seeking, but also the fun and the independence that they wanted.
I will tell you, the first time I saw any of your business information, I don't know if it was a social media page or a website, but my jaw literally dropped open because of the words, your business, your way. And I thought, nobody ever says anything like this. People always say, I will teach you everything I know. I will be able to get these sorts of results for you. Go with me and you'll learn this. And I thought, this lovely woman is saying, let me help you do what you do your way. I'm not asking you to be something else. I'm not telling you have to do it my way. I just thought that was the most generous, revolutionary, unusual, and breath of fresh air thing I had seen in a very long time.
Oh, thank you, Joy. That just is music to my ears, because I think we've all been in situations where we've tried to replicate what someone else is doing, expecting to get the same results they did, and it
Right.
doesn't work for us. We start to see our self-confidence erode. The commitment to our passion might be a little tarnished. We start to go into doubt, and that just breaks my heart, because the gifts that each one of us have to offer are so valuable and vital to our experience in this incredible adventure we call life.
Absolutely. In your work, how do you help people get back in alignment? And can you share any examples?
Oh, would love to. My style is very much of asking questions, because I come from the perspective, Joy, that each one of us has our own truth, our own answers within. And my obligation is to ask the questions that are going to reveal your answers. And that's how we get to the your business, your way. It's building on your truth, your values, your beliefs, your experiences, what works for you. Specific example is a client came to me some time back, and she just had paid a fortune for an online training program of delivering offers and opportunities on stage, hosting these 2 or 3 day events. And she realized that she really just couldn't do that. She was so uncomfortable on stage. We delved into a series of questions, which I call appreciative inquiry. And what we came to realize is that she was uncomfortable on stage, but she absolutely nailed it on video. She was a powerhouse. She didn't have the people. That was her influence. The energy that was bombarding her when she was on stage was just more than what she could handle. But on using video, she was an absolute rock star. So it's fine tuning and recognizing that the skills that you have do have flexibility in how they can be applied, and you can be equally effective when you do it your way.
Well, it sounds to me like your approach has to be pretty nuanced then, because to be able to get that out of her, but I'm sure that wasn't something she readily identified. If a person is comfortable on video, you might automatically think they'd be okay on stage. So I think that's a testament to your ability to help people get to the core of what's going on.
It's all about the questions, Joy, asking the questions to reveal your truth, and having the, here's another big word that's important for me, it's trust. Trusting yourself, that you do know yourself. And oftentimes the questions in this, the initial discovery conversation that we have, is really connecting people with themselves in a way for the perhaps the first time they ever have, because they've not asked themselves the questions that I'm asking. So there's no right or wrong answers to the questions. It's rather taking the time to give yourself permission and the opportunity to go within and discover the absolute gifts and magic and brilliance that are residing within you.
And you brought up such an important word with trust, because what you're doing with them causes them, whether they were ready or not, to be vulnerable. Because in order to get those answers from within, they're going to have to face up to some things that maybe they haven't looked at. And there is a trust of you. They're entrusting you with their deepest, darkest fears, perhaps, or things they hadn't addressed from who knows when. What an experience for people. I wouldn't be surprised if you told me there were often tears, because when people are going through something this emotional, that they're learning what's really behind what they need to do in order to get into alignment, I bet that there are some big revelations that come out of your work with them.
Absolutely, they are, Joy. And oftentimes the tears are not only tears of relief, tears of joy, that they can finally break through and say, oh, it's okay to be me. It's okay to be quirky and unique and unconventional. And to put that into the spotlight with a big permission slip to be authentic to themselves, perhaps for the first time in their lives. It's an incredibly wonderful experience to share.
I just love that. My dear mom used to always tell me, why are you so different? Why can't you just be normal? And I'm like, I'm just me. I don't know how to be anything else. And poor woman was just always pulling her hair out that she had what she considered such a strange daughter. And I love that you are not only giving people permission to be who they really are, but to celebrate it and share it. Oh, I just think it's a gift.
And that's a perfect example that you just shared, Joy, is oftentimes the way we were raised, our society, we're looking for conformity, for not attracting attention, for not being outside of the acceptable norm of behavior, whatever that might be. And that is so stifling for those of us who are creative and are unconventional and do have a quirkiness
Right.
to share with the world. So yes, I absolutely. One of the initial conversation that I have with people includes a very specific statement that this is a judgment-free zone.
Oh, that's incredible. Talk about a safe space. My next question is, what are some signs that someone is starting to slip out of alignment?
Oh, that's another great question. The indicators could be physical, kind of a tingling sensation. It could be almost you want to squirm a little bit. There's just the physicality that it doesn't feel right. Maybe it's in a sensation in your torso, or it could be around your heart. It also could be emotional. You might feel a sense of anger coming up, or of being depressed, or the lower energy emotions. It could be a feeling or a sensation, maybe a breath of air going across your face, something that you see out of the corner of your eye that attracts your attention, and you literally are shifting your focus from where you are to whatever attracted your attention. So these are indicators that we are out of alignment and we're on the edge of stepping into an area that is going to perhaps encourage us to compromise our values, our beliefs, our goals, our expectations, compromise our healthy boundaries that keep us safe and secure. It could be all of those indicators. It might be one. And again, it's unique to each individual, Joy.
And are there any general behavioral signs that people should be alert to, that if they start behaving a certain way, that might be a hint that they're starting to get out of alignment?
I think one of the most prevalent ones that I see is procrastination. They put off doing things. They find excuses or reasons not to do it, justifications not to do it. Maybe as it relates to a business, it could be that they want to do more market research, or they're not feeling that what they put together is perfect, and so they're reluctant to put it out. Again, that fear of judgment. So those are some of the indicators that can come up. We use that as a justification for not moving forward. In fact, I prefer to look at it as that's a red flag saying we need to hold the bus, take a time out, and let's evaluate what underneath that indicator.
Oh, I love that. I think that's very helpful, because sometimes it's just something inside you telling you that this activity doesn't feel right for whatever reason. So I love that you brought that up. My next question is, what can people expect when they work with you?
Here's my promise, Joy, and it's this. At the conclusion of our time together, be that a 30-minute free consultation or a 3-month one-on-one coaching intensive, at the conclusion of our time together, you will have a different perspective of yourself, your business, and your life.
That is a promise I can let everyone know that you make good on, because I've had the opportunity to work with you. I think my first session with you was maybe 20 minutes, very brief. I left with a huge shift in perspective, shift in alignment, and shift in intentions. And I was thrilled. So I can vouch absolutely that there will be a beneficial shift. I wanted to ask if you brought anything for our listeners today, some sort of helpful how-to or something that might help them get in alignment.
Oh, I could go a couple of different directions with this. The first thing is a tip. That is to trust yourself. Trust that you are a unique individual that has something incredible to offer to this world. And honoring the value of who you are is the most beautiful self-expression and gift that you can give to us. So that's the tip, is trusting who you are and the impact that you have to offer the world. For the business owners that might be listening, I would invite you to download my ultimate Your Business Your Way blueprint. This is a free step-by-step guide for you to have a successful business that works for you rather than you working for your business.
That's fantastic. And will we be able to get a link where we can send people to get that?
Absolutely. It's SusanBock.com, SUSAN, as in boy, OCK.com.
If you had one message to impart on this subject of alignment, what would it be?
Once you've experienced it, you will never want it different.
Amen. I agree. It's really one of the most incredible feelings. It's like camera aperture that things are out of focus and this one little click and all of a sudden everything's crystal clear. It's just the most fantastic feeling.
That is a beautiful description. Thank you for that, Joy.
Now, as far as for you yourself, what are you looking forward to next?
I'm not one for New Year's resolutions. I used to do that many years ago, and what they ended up doing was making me feel worse about myself because by February, the intention, the motivation had vanished, and I was back to my old behaviors. So what I do now, every year between Christmas and New Year, I choose my word, one word for the upcoming year. And that word becomes my intention for every single day. That's how I start my day, with the question of how am I going to fulfill my intention today? What is the aligned action I can take to manifest my intention for today? And my word for 2024 is possibilities.
Oh, you can't get much better than that. The word possibilities is just full of excitement and adventure because you never know what could happen, and it's usually thrilling. That's a great one. Thank you for sharing that. Do you have any sort of course, workshops, anything like that people can check into coming up anytime soon?
I do. I do have a special opportunity that is the Aligned Action Accelerator.
Ooh.
That is a 90-minute one-on-one session with me where we can go so deep, so quickly, and really get you into aligned action for your life, your relationship, your business, and most importantly, building that super self-connection with yourself, that head-heart connection of who you are within, and sharing your gifts with the world.
If you're just having a bad day, get a hold of Susan. She'll make you feel better.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
You just have a way of turning the rain into rainbows. I don't know how you came with such a gift, but you definitely have it. That's about it for my questions. And Susan, if you'd be open to it, we'd love to have you back every now and then to.
Well, that would be awesome. I would be honored. Thank you. Count me in. Sign me up.
Okay, I'm going to put it in writing then. Thank you, Susan. And thank you, everyone, for being with us today. This is an interview I've really been looking forward to. And when Susan said, yes, I will do it, I literally did a happy dance. And I wish everyone to figure out what their alignment is, to get into it, to stick with it, and do yourself a favor and get a hold of Susan. Charisse, everyone. Tuta.